just a little runaway. 47 years and still I'm on the run. Afraid of love, I'm keeping God at bay. Spending days in a nightmare ain't much fun. I am just a little runaway. For my misery, always blaming someone else. I'm really into judgment and delay, but only hurting me and I and myself.
Hi everybody, it's Calico and this is Beyond the Body. We have a little bit of a different segment today and I just wanted to kind of set it up. I've been doing some Skype calls with an angel friend of mine that I met up at in Camas. She came and did a 30-day devotional and we met there, and she's back in South Africa now. And she was willing to come on air and do a recorded Skype call on eating disorders because, as she says, she has them all. And so it was a perfect way to use this for this segment on food. And I just wanted to kind of set it up from my experience. I've had every known food-related distraction there is. I remember back when I was in college, and this is back in early 70s, I remember hearing of a woman in another dorm that would go to the cafeteria and overeat and then go to the bathroom and throw it up. Now, there was no word for bulimia back then. And I remember my first thought when my friend was telling me, I thought, good idea. So I want to just say, I love you all, and I hope you enjoy this segment. And I'm just so grateful to introduce my angel friend, Kathryn Madison. Enjoy. Oh, Kathryn, thank you so much for just being willing to do this. I just need to say that because I really got from you doing the message on the 30-day program. I mean, you saw how many people responded to that.
I know.
This is like a huge issue. Just your relationship to food. Because you said it so beautifully and eloquently, and so many people related to it. And I really feel like there's a gold mine here for healing. And so I just turn it over to you to kind of...
Yeah, so I think, like I said on the 30-day challenge, it's always been this getting relationship. And it's interesting because I'd never really looked at it as a relationship as such, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just something that I used or abused to kind of get what I want, you know, and the getting was like the getting to get comfort and to get company and companionship. Especially, you know, if I was feeling bored. Or it was so interesting because I had this really deep experience when I came back from Utah, actually from Camas, and my house sitter had completely run out of money, and she literally ate like everything in my house. Okay. And I was beside myself. Okay, not everything, but like a lot. Even the stevia. I was like, who eats all that stevia? It's impossible. But she did. And I then I actually did a Spiri, and I then did a Byron Katie worksheet on it. And what came out was this like food for me, like the kind of feeling was that going to the cupboards and they're bare. And it took me back to my childhood when I was in school, and it made me realize how drab and dull my life felt. And it's not that I had an awful childhood. I really didn't. It wasn't bad, but I just felt like it was so mundane, and that the food was this like sparkle, At least if there was something nice to eat, it would like make it all feel better. And when there wasn't, it was like this real disappointment, like, oh God, like there's no reprieve. So food became this getting mechanism for making it all better, which is, I mean, it's totally insane, but it was like that. And also this, the purging behavior is a way that I can get to a certain weight or maintain a certain weight, or, make sure that I'm not overweight, which for me is unlovable. Yeah, and I really looked at this and I thought, wow. And this whole talk of relationships and preceding this, it was about commitment. And I thought to myself, geez, the only thing that I've been committed to is like my body, like there would be times where I say, okay, I really don't want to binge and purge because it's just really unfulfilling almost, like just so drab, that dullness again.
And that's interesting you should mention that, because that's the same word you used about your job.
Oh, wow.
The dullness. Yeah. And it's like, so what is it for you? Like, where does that show up maybe in your feeling space as far as to have a dull life?
Yeah.
Because I see work and food are somehow the distraction away from the core belief. Yeah. And it's this belief of having a dull life.
Yes.
And maybe if you could just kind of take a moment and kind of
I'm going to just sit with that.
Perfect.
So the thing that kind of comes to me is that when I was 4, my parents got divorced. And it was as though my dad upgraded his family, which is not the truth, but that was the perception.
Yeah.
So I'm an only child, and my mom and I had a very kind of like a meager kind of life. There weren't treats. We didn't go on holidays. We didn't go and eat out for dinner. Like, money was always tight. We had an incredible relationship, and we always had like fun, her and I. But there weren't these spoils, It was quite like drab, I suppose. And maybe that was contrasted by this experience of going to my dad's house, which was every Friday to Saturday, where it was like, for a child, it was this complete other world. And they had a trampoline, and my dad had a speedboat and a caravan with 2 doors, and it was just this like the fun side and the not so fun side, and okay, I can see why you left kind of thing,
Right.
So I don't know if that's to do with this, really.
I'm curious.
But that's just kind of strange to me, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious, when you were with your father, were there special food treats? Was there a different food thing that you had than you did?
Oh, totally. So there were always treats in the house, which of course I used to nail. The cookie jar was like, it's interesting because my dad used to fetch me once a week from school, every week for like years and years. And when he did, he would take me to the shops and we would get lunch. But lunch would always be a pie and pastry and like a special drink. Like my mom we would never have like Yogi Sip or Tropica, or it was just like
just wasn't done. And then we'd get like a bag of sweets and a chocolate, and it was just this like little mini feast, you know. So there was this
Special
like
love.
association. Yes, love, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and male love as well, like this, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that, and fun, you know, and oh, this is nice. Mom never does this. Not because she didn't want to, and she did, but she just didn't have the means to do it all the time.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, so it was there, but it wasn't like the special occasion. So, yeah.
So do you remember having feelings, you know, if you can kind of just sit and think of what that was like when you went out to dinner with your dad, like, you know, what feelings were present with that?
And then when I went to his house, which is where him and my stepmother and my stepsister lived, it was always this feeling of like not belonging, like I was an intruder, you know. And it's interesting because actually when I was in Tamis, like after all these years, this like connection came as to where the sin concept came from, because no one in my family has ever like made reference to me like not being thin enough or being overweight at all. It was never an issue, you know. And when it just, like I say, occurred to me, my stepsister was 8 years older than me, but she was basically half my size because she has this tiny frame and she's small. And I think that I associated that, you know, with, oh, that's part of the upgrade. So that's kind of what you need to look like. That's, you know, he traded us in. And my stepmother is short, and my mom and myself and my dad are all tall. So it was just this like complete contrast, you know. I felt like it was like I was separate. I felt like I was separate. And I absolutely felt like I just didn't belong, like I didn't fit in there at all.
Perfect.
You know? Yeah.
And now,
Yeah,
looking back on this, because that goes along with this thing that's been going on with work for you, that you don't belong there either. And so I feel like there is a core belief beneath all of this. This idea that you don't belong, and I'm going to pull a little Byron Katie here. Is that really true? Do you really believe that you don't belong? And it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. This is this is really going to drag some stuff up on.
I mean, I feel like I want to say yes, because that is how I feel. I don't feel like
no,
yes!
No more words. You know? No more words. There's really just a yes or a no. So you truly feel that you don't belong. You know, and you can kind of see it where it lands with your family and your father now, with your stepmom and stepsister.
Yeah.
You know, do you truly feel that you don't belong?
I feel like I want to say yes.
Okay. Now, just hang in there with me for a second. I want you to get in touch with those feelings and describe what it feels like right now as an adult going and being with your stepdad and stepmom. What are the feelings that come up? And just kind of get into that and express that.
It feels strained because sometimes it's cool and sometimes it's not. It's like a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde. And that kind of, it makes me feel like I'm on tender hooks, you know. I need to read the situation to like figure it out.
Okay, so you're uncomfortable. the feelings, not
Yeah,
really the
it's not
story.
natural.
Yeah, not the story,
Yeah,
the feelings.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. So it feels unnatural. It feels like an effort. It doesn't feel like it just flows, and like it's relaxed.
Right.
Yeah. Which is uncomfortable.
It feels like we're on different wavelengths
Okay.
with my dad and my stepmother.
Okay.
I'm often resentful,
All right.
towards my stepmother,
Mhm.
often, and I'm often judgmental.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And there is often quite a bit of condemnation.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now, with those feelings, kind of stay with them. See yourself in those situations again, having dinner with your stepmom, and you maybe feeling judgmental and condemning. Who would you be without those thoughts?
I'd just be accepting. Yeah.
Maybe happy?
Yeah. A lot more peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's because we've had so many calls. It's just, I'm just making this interesting correlation between how you are with your stepmom and dad and how you are at work. It's like, there's some judgment about being at work. You're not peaceful. You feel like you have to perform. And it seems like there's something to this way that you feel that results in you binging or purging. Like that's not the core issue. And by focusing on the core issue, it perhaps takes you away from the real feelings that are there of not being okay, as far as where the food thing is coming from. And food is like smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol or, relating to the, inappropriate people. It's a distraction. It takes us out of the game. And as Jesus
100%.
has always said, the only right use of judgment, how are you feeling? So, I really see that there might be some real access to healing this whole thing with your family by focusing on the work, because that's what's really up in your face every day. And you're not peaceful and you're exhausted and you feel dull and dead. Because once you get the feelings down, then you can start turning it around. This is, my boss is crazy. My boss is making me work way too hard and I'm not happy, when I'm asked to do certain things. If you can start turning this around and see that there is a turnaround to all these feelings. And it'll take you through a process to kind of pull back all these feelings, because they're laying on some belief that you're holding on to about yourself. And I don't know what it is, but you will know it when you get to it. Because it's like, oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, focusing on the food, and this is, you said it yourself that first time you were talking about, I am just going to let myself purge. I'm going to binge. I'm not going to focus on food.
Yeah.
And I almost think that would be the better way for you right now. Because it takes you out of the game. When you start focusing on the food, you're not focusing on the feelings. And I feel like you've got a good source of what the feelings are at work. because they
Yeah.
feel like they may
Yeah.
be very similar to what you feel like when you're with your stepmom.
Yeah.
Until we really get those feelings coming to the surface,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
intellectualizing, we're ghosting everything.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so this week, and you're more than welcome to call me if you need some assistance as you go through this. It may not be on this recording, but I really see that you're going through a deep process here, hon, and I know you're willing. I know you're
Yeah.
willing, and that's 99% of it right there.
Sure. Because at the moment, it just feels like I want a change in form. I feel like I just want to
That's
change my job, change where I
yeah.
live. I
No.
feel like I have no relief, you know?
That's
And I
level
know that that's not
confusion.
the solution, but I'm like, please just help me to see this differently because
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. I'm not inspired. I'm not loving this. I feel like really like it's so pointless, you know, this whole kind of rat race. I'm just like,
Okay, one of the
really?
pitfalls that can happen is this level confusion. Until I was
Yes.
really able to grapple with the level confusion, focus on mind, not
Yes.
on form,
Yeah.
I had no access to dealing with the sickness. And so
Yeah.
the focus on the form, which is the focus on food, focus on the body, it's a dead end. There's no
Yeah.
cheese there. So this week, I really want you to just be present to
Yeah.
what you're feeling,
Yeah.
because that is mind.
Yes. Sure.
Okay? But when you're
Yeah.
judging what you're eating, or you're thinking, I want to lose 5 pounds, or, for
Yes.
me, it was, damn it, I don't like having cancer. It kept me looping. The ego kept me
Yeah.
looping in places that I couldn't change anything. That's
Yes.
called level
Yes.
confusion.
Yeah.
We
And I
want
am
to,
looping.
yeah, no, I
I
get
am
it.
totally looping. Yeah.
And so let's kind of bypass the loop and go
Yes.
focus just on the feelings. And that's why I think
Right.
right now, honey, your job is a gold mine, because it brings up all these feelings of, I'm dead, I'm dull, I'm exhausted, I'm feeling frumpy, I'm
Angry as well, like a lot.
angry. Perfect. And if you can just stay with those, and even if it takes, when you come home at the end of the night, do an
Yeah.
instrument piece. I'm feeling exhausted and angry. Great.
Right.
Do an instrument of peace on that. Because
Cool.
there's a big belief that's going to pop through all this. I know it is. And
Yeah, I can feel something is, I can feel it.
yeah.
But I feel frustrated because I'm like, can we hurry up already?
No. This is
I don't like the discomfort.
and that's your impatience, and that will keep you stuck too. So do one on
Right.
I'm impatient, I'm angry, I'm impatient, why isn't this happening faster?
Yeah.
Do an instrument of peace. There may be quite a few of them, because really, as you look at the belief, you're kind of looking at different aspects of it. You're turning it, oh my God, look at what's there. I'm exhausted, but
Right.
over here I'm angry, and up here I'm defensive. So you're taking this belief out, and you're really kind of messing with it to see all the different aspects of it through your feelings, which is your mind.
Yes.
Because we only
Yeah.
can change our mind. That's all we can do. And once you
Yeah.
change your mind, then who knows what's going to happen with form? Anything
Yeah.
could. But it'll be
Yeah.
miraculous. I know it'll be miraculous because
Yeah.
you're not obsessing about it anymore.
Yeah. And I'll just know, like I know, like it happens, and then I just know that it's right, and
Yes.
and I'm happy. I move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that feels really, like I say, it feels really practical. Like when you said that, I resonated immediately because I can do it. Because I keep thinking I need to have another purpose for the office, and I wasn't able to
Perfect.
like connect with it. I'm just like, I need to see this differently, but I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
You know what I
Perfect.
mean? So
I do.
This is great. Yeah, I feel it.
But the axis is, what am I feeling?
Yes.
And it'll be there. And then you write it down in the instrument for peace and just see where it takes you. And you may feel after one instrument for peace, yeah, I'm not done. Great.
Yeah,
Pick up
yeah,
another
yeah,
one. Do another one. You're worth it. You are
yeah,
so
totally,
worth it. You know, the
totally.
peace that you will have in your life is so worth it for you going through this process,
Yeah.
and not to feel like
Because
you're at,
I feel like I'm not at peace, and it feels awful.
I
It
know,
feels absolutely shitty awful.
I get it.
And I'm just like, I hate how I'm feeling, but I just don't know how to change it, you
Yeah.
know? Like, do
Yeah.
I just sell up? Not even sell up, like give everything away and be like, okay, but you know, that's also, if you haven't got your mind right, that's just going to mean
Yeah.
I'm going to have a crazy mind and no money.
And I don't know where
That's
this
not
will
good.
take you. I have no idea where this will take you. You'll change jobs, not change jobs. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah,
Right
yeah.
now, this
Agreed.
job is perfect because you have a lot of
Yes.
feelings that you do have with it, and it feels out of
Yeah,
control, which is what you
yeah,
feel with the food. So it's kind of like, well, let's
yeah,
use the job because you're in it every day. You know, we don't
yeah.
have to focus on the food. We can focus on the feelings that come up with the job. Thank you so much, Kathryn. I adore you. I'm so grateful to have met you and have you in my life. And I just want to, besides thanking Kathryn, I'd like to put it out to any of you out there that might have a form related issue, whether it's the body, a relationship, a job, whatever. Feel free to Facebook message me, and perhaps we can put it on air and help others, because as one heals, we all heal. And that is a gift for all. Anyway, this is the end of this segment. Until next time, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. I know I will. Love you.
It was just a tiny mad idea at which the Son of God